Hello Taurus, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Taurus for the next 3 months. So this will cover the period of time between July, August, and September. If you're more of a business person, this would be Q3 or quarter 3 of 2022. But with that said, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate. Drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go and see what we have here. Now I'm using the Gilded Tarot, the Rider-Waite Tarot, and the Higher Self Affirmation deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. I'd also ask that you hit the like button and subscribe, as it is still the case that less than 50% of the people who watch my content are actually subscribed, and so if you have not yet hit subscribe, please do consider doing that. All right, so let's go ahead and get everything in view here for you, Taurus, and then we'll get right into it. We'll take 3 cards here to clarify as we go along. All right. And I think that's looking just about good enough to me. Energy on the bottom, you have the Page of Cups. So Page of Cups is really a nice card, especially if you're looking for love. Page of Cups can signify that there is somebody who is interested in you and they are stepping forward to, we'll say like make a love offer. This may be something as simple as like, hey, this could be a Tinder match, right? Or this could be an online dating match. And since this is like, that's how people meet nowadays. But this could also be something like, hey, let's go for a walk. Let's get like coffee or whatever the case may be. Something like that. Now, if I'm looking here, I'm not getting a whole lot of other love energy or love messages. And so what the Page of Cups could say is that there is some sort of creative energy within you that needs to have an outlet, okay? You need to have some sort of creative outlet for yourself. This could be a creative offer. This could also be news that comes into your life that makes you very happy. This could also just say that you are maybe also connecting with your intuition in some ways as well. But let's go ahead and put this here and see what else we get, see what other messages we get. So in your overall situation, you have the 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is really a major card of boundaries, in that this person's sort of putting their wand in the ground and they are taking a stand. And they are saying, I am not going to let myself go back or go backwards. I'm going to continue going forward. And so this can talk about you setting standing your ground with somebody in your life. This can talk about you setting boundaries with somebody in your life. This might be somebody who annoys you. This person's a little bit frustrated. It may mean that there's like a water sign here, Taurus, that is kind of in your life that you are maybe having to sort of set boundaries with here in the next 3 months. The 9 of Wands can also just really be a nice message telling you to not give up, okay? Because the 9 of Wands is really, they are standing at the finish line. They are 1 card away from completing the journey of the Wands. And so, I do feel like maybe it's interesting. I'll talk about this more as we move into the middle column, but it's possible that there's something at work or in your work situation that you are hoping to complete that may be a test of your sort of willpower or something like that here, where like you need to just kind of push through it. And I see you successfully doing that. Now, in the month of July, you have the King of Swords, you have the Fool, and you have the 9 of Cups. So the King of Swords here is really somebody who is an authority figure, okay? This is somebody who is a leader in all areas of their life. You could be taking on those qualities about you here in the month of July. You could be stepping up for yourself, stepping up for your family, stepping up at work, taking a leadership role in your own life in some way. King of Swords is somebody who will give you a fair shot in life. And again, that means that you could have that quality about you as well. This is somebody who will also help you get from point A to point B. This is typically not somebody who takes an emotional interest in you. So it's sort of like, we do have that Page of Cups on the bottom, but you have to take all of the cards into consideration here. And it's like, I don't feel like there's a huge love message here, to be perfectly honest with you. I feel like, this is something about news around happiness or news in your career life that is very important to you, maybe even in your work life, or if you are somebody who does like projects, like if you're self-employed, like getting a project off the ground, something. I feel like that's sort of more implied here, but we'll just see what else comes forward. So you do have this Fool as well. The Fool talks about a new beginning in one's life, but it's a powerful new beginning. It's a powerful new journey. And really the Fool is about the Fool starts off all of the tarot. So in some ways I feel like the Fool is the most powerful card to find in a tarot reading. Also, sorry if you can hear the planes. They've been going by in your reading for whatever reason. But the Fool is, it's interesting that the planes are going by, and you also have the Eight of Wands, which is about air flight or air travel. I do feel like maybe some of you are going somewhere new over the next 3 months. It is interesting. I kind of just connected that. We'll talk about that more in the middle column. But going back to the Fool, it's a powerful card because it starts off everything. And, as we see here with the Page of Cups, the Fool, and the King of Swords, it's almost like it could mean that some of you are stepping into some sort of new role, either in work or for yourself, is what I feel. And I kind of said that earlier, but I definitely feel like the Fool is influencing that even more. You have this Nine of Cups, which is really about wish fulfillment. This person is sort of throwing their cup in the air, and they are celebrating all of the amazing success and the amazing energy that they have achieved in their life, the goals that they have achieved in their life, and they are really having a sort of like I made it moment. When you get the Nine of Cups, it's really a positive card. So I love what's going on here for you in July. Now, in the month of August, you have the Eight of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands, and you have the Judgment card. So what's really interesting here is you have the 8 into the Nine of Wands. Like I said before, there's something here in August that is testing your willpower with this progression of the 8 into the Nine of Wands. Now, there is something here about flight in your life. Flight is the word that is coming to mind for me, for you in this reading. Eight of Wands, you can see all of the wands are in the air. They are moving ahead. They are charging ahead. This is a card of accelerated motion. This is a card of things moving forward for you in your life. And it is a card of air travel or air flight or going to distant places, going to distant lands, and so on. And so, you do have 2 traditional sort of travel cards here with the Eight of Wands and the Six of Swords. And so it's almost like towards the back half of this summer, it is possible that some of you are thinking about travel, whether that's by air or by vehicle, it doesn't matter. Some of you could be really thinking about travel. But I think that for more of you, this is about you kind of, it's like a final push to finish something. Not only because you have the 8 progressing into the Nine of Wands here, and also because Wands is the suit of work, but on top of that, you have the Judgment card, which is the second to last card in the Major Arcana before you complete the world or before you complete something massive. Okay, and so we see here you starting this summer off, the quarter off here with the Fool. That starts off everything. And then you getting to the Judgment card just 1 month later here, or even less than 1 month later. And so it's like you are almost going an entire cycle, or almost like starting a cycle and closing out a cycle in this summer. And I think that this is very heavily aligned with a creative interest or a work interest or something along those lines. Here, for sure. The Judgment card really asks you to take an inward look, to take a look at what's going on, to take a look at yourself and ask yourself what it is that you need to do to get over the hump, to get to the final card, which is the World. And it's really a card of sort of self-evaluation in the tarot. And so, instead of looking towards other people, I feel like some of you are looking towards yourself and saying, okay, is there a place where I can sort of max out myself in some way, or max out my drive or my ability in some way? in the month of September, you have the Death card, you have the Two of Pentacles, and you have the Six of Swords. So the Death card is really a card that indicates transformation and change in one's life. Death card talks about something like going through a major transformation. This is not about death or dying. This is more about rebirth energy. This is more about you sort of being born anew, if you will. This is change. It's not something that you should be afraid of. It's Scorpio energy. It is taking something, like I always like to say, the Death card is like butterfly energy. It's like going from the butterfly to the caterpillar. And I said this in another reading, but I recently on my walk, I saw a caterpillar like on the sidewalk, and it looked like it was like going through its metamorphosis, and it looked very painful. Like it looked actually extremely painful, and it just made me think of the Death card, where I'm like, okay, well, this is ultimately good for this caterpillar, but they're not enjoying it in the moment, right? And that's kind of the energy of the Death card here. And you may be experiencing this in September or towards the back half of this next 3-month period for yourself. There's absolutely change on the horizon for you. I think ultimately it's good. You really, this is really the only challenging card that you have in all of these cards. And so you have this with the Two of Pentacles, which also signifies change potentially. Could be a change in your material situation or your financial situation in some ways. Two of Pentacles can talk about maybe juggling your money, like it's like fluctuating or juggling wealth, or changes in wealth or changes in money in some ways. And I think that this is ultimately good, because I think that as we see here in this middle column, you're pushing through on something. You also have the Six of Swords, which can represent transition. So we have change, transition, transformation here. I do feel like the back half of this next 3-month stretch for you will be extremely important. And it will be a period, it'll be like a whirlwind time of change. So let's go ahead and see what else we have here. All right, so you have Sacred Neutral. I access my eternal peace from sacred neutrality. Come home to sacred neutral. Interesting. So embodiment, I choose to be in my body. Embodiment precedes transcendence. And surrender, I let go of the need to know everything. There is no need to know everything. This is one of my favorite cards that early on, I have not used this deck very much. It's a new deck that I got, but I really like this idea of not needing to know everything. You know, the thing is, if tarot could tell us everything, we'd all be, billionaires, right? And the idea is that tarot is supposed to be here for you to sort of kind of help you along your journey, but to not show you, to help you along your journey, but to not sort of give you all of the answers. Because if I could give you all of the answers, then what would be the point, right? And so the truth is, even if you do read tarot cards, or you do watch tarot readings, or you watch astrology readings, or you use a pendulum, or whatever the case may be, we can't know everything, right? Some things are yet to be unknown, and are yet to be known. Some things are unknown, and there's a reason for that, right? Because we have sort of signed up to experience things in this lifetime. When we came in, when we will say, if you believe in incarnation, when we incarnated here, we agreed to go on this journey. And so part of that is not being able to know everything. And I feel like there's this real message here of surrender as you go through this transition, through this change coming up for you over the next 3 months. So let's go ahead and see what else we have. So you have the King of Swords twice. It's an important card for you. You have the Seven of Wands. Not surprised at all to see that. And I'll also tell you why that's important. You have the Wheel of Fortune. You have the World. You have the Three of Wands. And you have the Eight of Cups. So here's the thing. This is very important because remember, here's the thing. So you have the 7, 8, 9 of Wands, right? 7, 8, 9. So that progression continuing forward. And I said I'm not surprised to see this because the 7 of Wands is somebody who is standing their ground. Similar to the 9 of Wands, both cards are very similar, where it's like this idea of like not really budging. And, we do have to be a little bit flexible in life, but there also are things in life where we need to also kind of, stand our ground and not budge on. And I think that that's like very important for you in this month of August in particular, because you actually pulled four. So we pulled five cards total, with 3 and then 2, and 4 of the 5 cards are Wands cards. Wands is about work, career, enterprise. Okay, so you have the 7 of Wands, 3 of Wands, 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands. Okay, this is about progression. This is about growth in work, growth in career, and it's like oftentimes the biggest growth comes when you're kind of when you're struggling a little bit. Like, I'm thinking about, like, if you're somebody who's like worked out before, or you've like done like strength training or anything like that, it's like the final 2 reps, the hardest reps, but they're also the reps that give you the biggest gains. It's sort of like that, right? But I'm feeling like this is for you in your work situation. And what's interesting here is not only do we see the progression of the 7, 8, 9 of Wands, but also with the Judgment in the World card as well, where this is you closing out this cycle. Starting with the Fool here, 0, going to 20, going to 21, starting from 0, closing it out with the World, you getting that sort of Saturn reward for doing the hard work. The World is the card of Saturn. The King of Swords will reward you for doing that hard work. King of Swords is like, all right, we have a task, let's execute the plan, let's execute the mission, let's get from point A to point B in the most efficient way possible. And this is coming in for you twice. I also think that some of you have a possibility to move into a leadership role here over the next 3 months, if that has been on the table for you. If this is something that has been sort of manifesting for you for some time, I do feel like this is absolutely possible. You have this Wheel of Fortune as well, which is Jupiter energy. The Wheel of Fortune is an energy of luck, good fortune, but really it's a card of your destiny. Okay, it's a card of your destiny. And again, tarot can help you out along your journey of your destiny, but it can't kind of live your destiny for you, right? That's up to you. That's for you. But the Wheel of Fortune does say that situations are favorable for you at this time. 8 of Cups, you walking away from whatever is blocking you or moving you off of your journey, and instead you are walking towards the fulfillment of your journey. So this is extremely exciting. Thank you so much for being here, Taurus. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.